Greetings and welcome to this update. It is currently June 9th, 2020, or maybe June 10th, 2020. Either way, it's been a while since I made a video, and I don't regularly make updates unless I actually feel like there's something worth updating on. And a couple of things have happened since the last video, so let's just get right into it. So first off, I added a little bit of substrate here for the fish tank. It was kind of an experiment. I had some leftover gravel from some of the plants that I have outside. I added some gravel to the top layer of my plants in order to prevent some bugs from nesting there, because I was getting a bit of a bug problem in that garden on my balcony. And so I decided to pour this extra gravel in here and see if maybe the scuds would take to it, which so far I don't think it's made any sort of discernible difference. The amount of shrimp seem to really enjoy foraging in this area, but besides that, no real big differences. I also got a new light for the aquarium in the hopes that because I noticed that this Rotala rotundifolia was not really turning red, and based on what I read, it could be the fact that there isn't enough nutrition in the water, maybe not enough iron, or it could be the light. And so I decided to change out my light and see if that fixed the problem. It doesn't seem to be the light, so maybe it's the iron. But then that begs the question, do I really want to start iron dosing my water in order to get these plants to turn red? And so it's not really, it's something that obviously it's not urgent, because I looked into it and the plants are still healthy. They're just not, it's just colorization that's the issue. So there's no rush on that. I can make this decision anytime I want. And who knows, maybe I'll take a bit of a cutting, maybe I'll cut a little bit off and put it in a separate tank with some iron dosage just to see how the plant behaves before I start doing that on the entire aquarium. Mostly because I'm concerned about the impact it could have on other things in the tank, such as the snails. And I think that's most of it. But last but not least, so I wanted to cover an update on the snail situation. So some of you may notice, or you may already notice, there are a lot more snails. Actually, you can see a lot of them now compared to before. So that's because they've been reproducing like mad, and yeah, they're everywhere. You just look around and it's pretty much impossible to not see a snail hanging around somewhere. So I decided that the snails are a problem and I need to find a way to deal with that problem. So I did a lot of research into ways to handle these snails, and a couple of them were things such as maybe adding in clown loaches, assassin snails, maybe trying to get like Cory catfish to help out with the, okay. Well, anyway, as you can see on the camera, the solution that I decided was the loach. It's a Yoyo loach, and I just got it today. And so I am now currently recording, it's getting adjusted to the tank, and it was recommended that the Yoyo loach lives in a 20-gallon tank, and this is only a 10, but it's also a very small Yoyo loach. It's very young, so I'm hoping that it kind of gets accustomed to the smaller tank. But who knows, maybe since it has a 4-year lifespan or so, who knows, maybe within that time period I'll end up upgrading my tank to something larger, and hopefully it'll be large enough to accommodate the Yoyo loach before, it outgrows this tank. With that being said, one of the caveats that about having a Yoyo loach is that they are supposedly pretty aggressive fish, and it's for the same reason that I was unable to keep a beta in the tank, because I tried to use a beta to manage the snail problem before, and you know, the beta was attacking the guppies, and so I ended up having to pull the beta out and returning it back to the fish store. So the yo-yo loach, it seems a lot less aggressive. If anything, I would say it's very curious and has a lot of energy. It's just darting around everywhere, and I wouldn't necessarily say that it's attacking these guppies, but it just kind of like chases them around, and it's like just very curious. Whenever it gets near them, they all just run away, which, because they dart away, maybe that excites the yo-yo loach and it makes it want to chase the guppies. But I figure as long as the fish aren't actually getting pecked or attacked, it's all fun and games, because I've seen the guppies chasing each other in a similar fashion, less frequently so. But here's to hoping that the yo-yo loach is able to accommodate. If it isn't, like, let's say, one of my biggest concerns wasn't the guppies, actually. It was the shrimp, the Amano shrimp. I was really worried that the yo-yo loach would end up attacking the Amano shrimp, because I've read that yo-yo loaches do eat Amano shrimp, but I guess it's because the yo-yo loach is so young and the Amano shrimp are about the same size as it, that it hasn't really tried to pick any sort of fight with these shrimp. In fact, they just kind of swim around each other and kind of ignore each other. It's just the guppies that seem, like, to my surprise, it's the guppies that are seemingly having problems with this yo-yo loach, just because I see them getting chased. But once again, they're not being attacked, so I'm not classifying this as a problem yet. So I'm gonna keep my eye on it, and I have about 2 weeks to decide if I want to keep this thing or not. And if I do, then at that point I will monitor the snail population and see if they continue to grow, or if maybe it's able to kind of keep them in control. So here's to hoping. And that's it for the update. Hope you guys all have a nice day. Bye.